guys. So for those of you who watched my video the other day, I said I was going to do another video. So today I just wanted to talk about being a new mom in recovery. So I have 5 years sober, but I'm gonna say that this past year has been the hardest for a lot of reasons. It's been hard because it's hard enough trying to be clean, you know, for yourself. But it becomes much harder, I think, when you now have another person who's relying on your sobriety. And in my case, I have two. So, for me, I think that the biggest issue was definitely having postpartum depression. I still struggle, and if you don't know about it, you can watch the other video that I posted. But I definitely still struggle. There are days when, at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, like I never thought that I could be, you know, such a good mom, and be so patient and so understanding. And then there's other days where I'm just like, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. And it's difficult. It's really difficult, honestly. But it's been the best year because my triumphs now, I get to say, like, you know, that was good, or it was great, because now there's more meaning, there's more depth behind it. When I hit 5 years, I mean, I was going through a very rough patch at that time, and I'm lucky to have the people in my life that I have. I have a friend who took me out just to get out. I was in such a bad place that day, and I was like, it doesn't even feel good. It doesn't feel like, you know, I'm celebrating 5 days. It doesn't feel like I'm celebrating anything. It just feels like another day. And, you know, she was like, let's go out. So we went to the mall, and it was nothing. And we went to Target. It was really fun, but it was like nothing, you know. And I'm so grateful and so thankful to her for that, because after that, you know, I went home and I did the first video for this YouTube, and I was able to, you know, start the journey of sharing my story. But it's like, honestly, like days like today that I'm more grateful for my recovery, because you know, everybody's story is different, and how they get to where they are is different, or whatever. But when I got clean 5+ years ago, I wanted kids, but I had no idea how I was, you know, it didn't seem like it was gonna happen at all. So to now be a mom of 2 1-year-olds, that to me is so special and so amazing. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. Like, I feel like I don't say it enough. I'm grateful to be a mom. I'm grateful to understand what it is to be a mom, to be selfless. Because there was a time, I feel like every addict goes through it, where they're so selfish, you know, don't care about anybody else, and it's kind of like, it's ingrained in us, you know. And if we do care about somebody else, it's codependent. It's difficult, you know, like, we're not just like, oh, like, I have a normal amount of love for you. It's always like way too much, and that was something that I honestly really struggled with. I was like, am I going to be able to just love them, you know, without crossing that boundary? And I feel like I've gotten there. I've gotten to the point where I feel comfortable. I mean, I'm going to continue to struggle. Everybody continues to struggle, you know, that balance and being able to say like, okay, you know, things are good. When things get too good, I have to like take a second and be like, all right, wait, you know, something's not right, because then something's being neglected or not taken care of or whatever. But definitely this past year has given me a lot of hope. And it's inspired me. Like, these two babies have inspired me. If it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would have thought to do this channel. Honestly, I constantly told myself, you know, working in the field or whatever, I was always like, oh, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna change the way that people look at addiction and recovery, and I'm gonna do this and do that. Like, a lot of people think that they're going to, and I think that little by little we do, you know. But having them and saying, okay, you know what, instead of just sitting here and talking about a better world, where people can understand that addiction it's not so much a choice, you know, like we make that initial choice to use, but nobody ever sits down and says like, I'm gonna be a full-blown addict. Like, that's insane, and people don't think that, and people don't want it. They don't want it. And me and my boyfriend were talking one day, and he said, how are we gonna have it? Like, addiction runs in my family, and he was like, how are we gonna talk to them? How are we gonna have them not, you know, indulge? And I told him, you can't stop them from doing things. We could just educate. And I guess that kind of like stayed in the back of my head. Like, I want to educate. I need to give understanding to people who feel like they're not understood. For a long time, I felt like I wasn't understood, and in a lot of situations, I feel like I'm still not understood. You know, like my parents don't understand my recovery at all. You know, they're just like, okay, like you have 5 years sober, but why? You know, like people never thought that my use was a problem because I hid it. You know, because I don't think anybody knew the exact extent of what it is that I was doing. And that's fine, you know? Like I say, like, I hid it, and now my recovery is mine, you know, which it should be. Your recovery should be yours, you know? So being misunderstood, it's a cause for a lot of relapses, cause for a lot of misunderstanding in general, you know, with behaviors and stuff like that. So, like, I just feel like little by little, being able to give back to the community that has given me so much. Like, that's all I'm trying to do. And definitely being a new mom, I've learned that patience is the most important thing when it comes to recovery. Understanding, love, and not even just a love for other people, a love for yourself. Like, you have to love yourself enough to say, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? There's no reason for it. Like, I don't know. It's difficult. Being a new mom in recovery, it's so different, you know? Like, I thought I had everything under control. I thought that, you know, it could never be. And there are days now where I'm just like, oh my God, like, if I just didn't have a thought that things would be so much easier. And then I'm like, wait, let me feel, let me understand, you know, because I don't ever want to be that person again. And I can't even imagine being that person again. I have to be here for them. I want to give a shout out to all the new moms in recovery. And you're gonna have hard days, and there's gonna be days where you just can't even imagine how you're gonna get through it. And there's gonna be days where you're just like, why? You know, like new moms, they think it's so funny to go out and to drink and all that stuff. And moms in recovery, we don't get that. You know, like you have a hard day, there's not really much that you can do to like stop it. You just need to find something else. And it's not gonna come, you know, it's not gonna be so natural like, oh, I'll just knit, you know, I'll just paint a picture. It's gonna take a lot for you to see what it is that's gonna make you feel good, make you feel better. But look for it. Try hard to look for it, to find it. You know, find a person that you can find in. Go to therapy. Being a new mom, you need therapy. Get a job. If you're not working, you know, even if it's for 5 hours, 3 days a week, the time that you need to just be yourself. Because you can get lost in it. You can get lost in being a mom. I just never, when I went back to work, I was like, how am I going to get through my day? I don't know, like, what are my kids going to do? Who, you know, who's going to treat them the way that I treat them? And I'm getting stuck in that. Like, I kind of found myself like that. That was another big struggle for me, you know, like giving up. Like, live and let live, or let go and let God. Like, all those sayings, like, they just took on a whole new meaning when I became a mom. So, like, you know, reevaluate some of the things that you told yourself, and allow for them to have a new meaning. Allow for them to help you again. Because that, to me, was like the biggest thing. Like, making this page, honestly, sometimes I put some quotes up there like I need to hear. If there's a quote there, most of the times I put it there because I read it and I said, yes, I need this today, you know. And it just so happens that a lot of you needed it that day too, and that's great. And it is great. Affirm yourself. This is what you need. Stay sober. Please reach out to me. Send me some videos. Like me on YouTube and on Instagram.